If you own real estate in the Boise area or you'd like to own real estate in the Boise area, here's the top 3 things you need to know about what's happening in our market through the end of September 2024. Number 1, we've got some stability at a certain price range. Number 2, there's some opportunities when we're looking into the luxury market. And then number 3, we're going to talk about what's likely to happen to real estate in terms of appreciation and price over the next 6 to 12 months. So if you're interested in that, watch the rest of this video. All right, so first things first, let's just discuss new construction and existing homes. They both have a pretty similar story. The first thing I want to talk about is inventory. It is creeping up. So when inventory is creeping up, where exactly are we seeing the potential issues? And really, we have stability pretty much from, this is new construction, so we don't see a lot of activity until you get into the 400 plus range. But from 400 to a million, it's pretty stable, but it's been steadily increasing. Once you get over a million, we start to see some softening in the market and some opportunities for our buyers. When we go over to the existing home sales side, it's a very, very similar story. I mean, inventory has almost been flat for 4 months in a row. Keep in mind, typically we're actually seeing inventory get reduced over this season, right? As we go into August, September, October, we typically see inventory going down, but we're actually staying flat or even going up a little bit. So that's a really interesting thing to keep an eye on. How is that going to pan out over the next few months? It's really going to determine what happens in terms of price. But diving back into this, similar story. I mean, you get into this 300 to a million range, very, very, very good activity. Inventory still pretty aggressive. You get over the 1.5 million range, you start to see the softening. So what does that mean? Well, look, if you are let's just start with sellers. If you're a seller in this market and you're anywhere between 300 and a million, right now is a great time to get your home on the market. There's still plenty of activity. Homes that are priced right are selling. In some cases, we're seeing multiple offers. I know firsthand, I have seen that just in the last few weeks. So great time to be a seller. Now, if you're a buyer, well, inventory obviously is creeping up, so there's more options for you to look at. Rates have started to pull back a little bit. They're kind of hovering, but they're much more aggressive than they were just a few months ago. Where are they going to be going? Well, everyone assumes we're going to see continued decrease in interest rates over the next few months. There was a jobs report that came out pretty strong just last week. That scared some people into thinking that the rates won't go down as fast because the stronger the economy, the less cooling they need to do, the less heating up they need to do in terms of lowering rates. Because if the economy is strong, then they don't need to lower rates. So what does that mean? Well, it means if you're a buyer right now, you might want to take advantage of the low rates while inventory is high. If they do continue to go down, there's a good chance that you'll actually see a lot of this inventory get snatched up or prices start to appreciate. We'll talk about appreciation here in just a moment. Now, let's just say you are looking in that luxury market. We'll dive back into the spreadsheet here. If you're looking in this luxury market, like over 2 million, either new, right? We've got over 15 months supply, or if you get into the resale world, you got over 12 months supply. Now is an amazing time to be able to go in and negotiate. You can see that they're getting 95% of the original asking price to the actual sold price. So people are getting negotiation, right, on this. If you're 5% on a $2 million property, that's $100,000. That might not seem like a ton, but there's a lot of movement in that market right now. And of course, that's the last 12 months, so it's only going to get better, as you move up right now. New construction, there's over 99% original asking price to the sold. Now, that doesn't surprise me because a lot of these new construction sales, they're actually going to be in a position where they're pre-negotiating the price before they ever list them. There's not a ton of specs, but we do have 17 homes on the market over 2 million. There's 72 between 1 and 1.5 million, and there's 22 in the 1.5 to 2 million. So if you're looking over $1 million right now in new construction, I would say you're in the driver's seat. Great time to be a buyer. Now, if you're a seller, what does that mean for you? Well, if you're a seller who's also buying, just go for it, right? Like it makes perfect sense to get moving forward. If you're a seller who is not buying, maybe you're exiting the market completely and you're just getting rid of, or you inherited a property or whatever, the concern I would have is with inventory being higher, typically you're going to see prices start to come down. So get ahead of the curve. That's the number one thing I can tell you. You know, no one can absolutely predict what's going to happen 6, 12, 18 months from now. What I can tell you, though, is in a market where inventory is rising, which it is in these higher price points, you want to get ahead of that. You want to come out at your best price. You want to come out with your best, absolutely best looking property. So do all the things that need to be done, stage it, you know, get with an amazing agent because it does matter, and get the property sold quick. Because when you have 15.7 months supply or 17 homes on the market, on the new construction side, 37 on the market on the resale side, some of those people are trying to sell. Some of them have to sell. The ones that have to sell will start to lower prices. So good news for buyers. And if you're a seller, don't get lost. So let's just dive back into this spreadsheet one more time, and we'll kind of wrap up in terms of what the prediction is for the next 6 to 12 months. If you're in that stable market, that 300 to a million range, I actually think we're probably going to continue to see steady, not rapid, but steady price appreciation. So probably in that, 2 to 4% range over the next 12 months. If you're over $1 million right now, we might be seeing actually some depreciation over the next 12 months. I would be pretty surprised to see it actually go up unless we saw interest rates really start to drop. But bear in mind, a lot of these higher priced homes, they're selling cash. So interest rates have little to no effect on those. And when you see inventory creep up like this and someone has to sell, that's when you start to see prices drop. So as we wrap this up, I just want to make sure you guys understand this is what's going on in the market today. How does it impact your specific situation? Get with a strong agent who understands the market and can tell you all the options. Fun, quick story. I just was talking to someone who is a friend of a friend, and he's like, hey, check out my lot I'm trying to sell. And we talked about it. He sent it to me. It's already listed with another agent. And I went over 3 different strategies just because he was like, well, how do I get this thing sold? And I just said, hey, you have to talk to your agent. Here's what I do when I'm listing property like this. And the strategies were never suggested. So what are you doing when it comes to interviewing your agents? What are some of the things you're doing to make sure that they actually get you the most amount of money for your property? And every single agent has different skill sets. Some are really, really good with first-time home buyers and those, first-time home buyer sellers, right? The ones who are selling those entry-level homes. Some are better with move-up. Some really understand commercial. Some really understand land and new construction. Part of being in a team is we have one of those people, at least one of those people for each specific scenario. And we like to get you set up with someone that knows what they're doing. So interview agents. It makes a big, big difference. Even if you're working with our team or planning on it, go interview another team, just if nothing else, to make sure that you're getting the best option for your scenario. So to recap, we've got some stability in those lower prices, the 3 to a million. Over $1 million, it's getting soft. So great time to be a buyer. And if you're a seller, you got to get serious about listing that property. So hope you guys enjoyed this update. Stay tuned. 30 days from now, I'll give you the update through the end of October. Have an amazing week.